Nigeria can resolve Eda's farmers' crisis, Fulani group in US. A United States-based Fulani Cultural Association, the Pota-Fi Banta Fauta Danjalon Union for the Development of Fauta Danjalon has suggested, among other things, small-scale ranching and dialogue as a panacea to the perennial herders farmers crisis in Nigeria. The organization, dedicated to the emancipation of the Fauta, Danjalo and Fulani mainly in Guinea and other African countries, also alleged consistent violence and genocide against the Fulani in Guinea. The group also lamented the lack of action by successive administrations, which they accuse of not prosecuting those involved in criminal activities as part of the reason why the crisis has continued to fester. The group therefore noted that there was a need for all stakeholders to come together in tackling the cycle of violence. Bashiba, Secretary of Union, in an exclusive interview with Daily Trust on Sunday, noted that there can be a technical solution to the farmers' herders problem in Nigeria if the government comes up with an enabling environment. He said providing extensive cattle grazing area, having a large farm and bringing in food instead of having cattle moving around the environment will go a long way to in taming herders and agriculturist problem. You you grow the food for the cattle and you can get the byproduct from the cattle as fertilizer that has worked well in many countries, especially in the United States. Besides that, there are larger issues than the technical issue. There is the issue of global warming, leaves drying up in the traditional lands of the herdsmen, and they may move. That will create some conflict, but it is up to the government to find ways to settle this conflict and not to allow them to flare up as ethnic fighting amongst leading the civil war, the secretary said. According to Ba, political leaders, including all the stakeholders, traditional leaders, representatives of the herdsmen, the agricultural farming community, need to get together and find a solution. There should be no conflict. There is no conflict because there is no respect for the law, and there have not been laws put forward, and neither do we have real policies in address this issue. He also cited an example in Guinea, saying if we take Guinea for example, where most of the Fulani are herders and most of them do farming and cattle raising, and traditionally the people who were there before the Fulani were agricultural people. Although they have been in fighting in the name of hegemonic policies, it doesn't really flare up as a conflict. What we see in Guinea is that the Fulani that go outside the Bantadan Dijalo with their cattle have seen their cattle being killed using the same arguments of they are plundering our land. Ba also accused some powerful people of being behind the debacle, so we cannot escape the manipulation behind the conflict. Who has an interest in the conflict? Who is behind those providing the weapons? We don't make weapons in Africa. Those people carry machine guns. Where do they get them from? They have powerful economic and political people in the shadows that should be exposed in order to stop people from killing each other without reason. On the issue of ranching, he said ranching is very costly, adding that Nigeria should not import the American style of ranching, but because of the conflict, ranching at a small level, not this big American style, will help a lot, but it needs a central policy where people talk to each other with the law as the guardians and also tackle the economic saboteurs that are manipulating the issue. On what they can do to assist the country, by explaining that their organization, in conjunction with Habitat Bubaku International, the umbrella organization for all Fulanis at home and in diaspora, is working to bring in peace between communities and around the world. That is what we are working on. That is our plan. It would involve community leaders, economic operators to understand that there is no gain to be made by people in conflicts that is in long run, or the conflict created lot of issues. That is why we are working with leaders of communities to build peace. Speaking on alleged genocide in Guinea, Lamine Danjalo, the coordinator of the group, explained that there is a threat of genocide. There is a lot of violence directed at the Fulani communities in Guinea by successive governments in the country. Therefore, independence and through the years, even the Sekauto years, Toure accused the Fulani community of a plot to overthrow his government. He called for elimination of the Fulanis in Guinea. He said it was easy to recognize them. Whatever you have, whether it is a gun, a knife, or a hatchet, get out and kill them. I will take the responsibility. He called the Fulani thieves, and that if you arrest thieves, many of them are Fulani, all kinds of things from the head of state of a country. That is dangerous. But after he died, there was a military coup, the one that replaced him, Lansana Kante, even though he was not a violent as the one before him, but he got rid of all the Fulanis in the administration. He recalled that in 2006 and 2007, there was discretization process in Africa. There was a lot of movement in Guinea as a result. One day, more than 300 people were killed in Conakry, and most of them were Fulani. Danjalo said Daddy's Camara took over after promising democracy, but a few months later he started talking about running for president, so there was a protest meeting organized at a stadium. Many people went there. Over 55,000 people were in attendance. The military came in, locked up all the doors, electrified the place, and opened one door and went in and started shooting. They killed about 150 people, and they raped every woman they could lay their hands on in public. And it turned out, even after the human rights report, that 90% of the women that were raped there were Fulanis. The UN came in to investigate the situation, and the International Criminal Court also investigated the issue and said it was a crime against humanity, and they opened up another investigation. Well, this is even more and more interesting, since it seems like you Fulanis are you belongs to nobody and lives with nobody. Everywhere you go, you create trouble and they start chasing you away. I don't just understand how these people are made of. Don't they have a homeland of their own or what? Because I don't understand. Wherever it is they go, they try to claim the lands that belongs to them and start rearing trouble. Well, you can go to the comment section and share your take on this article. Thanks for listening.